Let us do this. We bike, and you know this. What's good, loner? What's poppin'? What the fuck? What the? Oh yeah, I can't say that. My bad. I'm sorry, YouTube. It was a joke. I'm sorry. Damn, that was terrible. Is my internet lagging? No, no bad internet. I paid too much money for this. What's good? What's going on, beautiful people? Hold on, let me roll up my cardigan. Listen, the internet scares the hell out of me. The early 2000s was nasty on the internet, okay? It was the first time they let us talk to each other. That's just how I'm going to start this. I don't know where this is going to go, but it's going to go. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. Well, no, I don't even get paid off YouTube. YouTube is so difficult for me to even keep up with because the show is it does better everywhere else. Like, I love YouTube. I wish I was better at it. Can't figure it out. I really. Hey, our video is now going to be available on Spotify. So if you missed the live and you want to catch us on Spotify, where you catch all your other podcasts, we're on there too with the likes of DJ Academics and Joe Rogan, but more DJ Academics. But you know, if YouTube wants to holla at me and maybe help me do better, I don't know. I can't figure it out. All right, today's show is gonna be good. So let's delve it. Let's dive. Dolve? Is it dolve or div? Dolvin. I feel like I'm all staticky. The camera's showing too much of my hands. I don't want to see my hands because I did a thumbs up, and I realized that my thumbs up is fucking pathetic. I have the worst thumbs up. It is so bad. I saw it when I did it on the show. I was like, hey, and I did like a thumbs up. I was like, hey, you guys, look at me. Ha ha ha. Trying to be funny. And then I looked at my thumb and I was like, why is my thumb so fucking little? It's so little. Why do I have such a little thumb? That sucks. That's going to be a great clip. All right, we're going to be talking about, so let's talk about Vegas, right? Vegas is one of the towns that we don't lose. And this is an interesting story. It's about giving away some money. Let's talk about Ye and TikTok. Dolphins are pretty sick. We're going to talk about how sick dolphins are and what they do to get high. And I thought it was interesting. I have a thesis or a theory or I guess I don't know what it is, an idea that was told to me that was very interesting. I want to talk about the end of Power Book and how phenomenal that show has been. I want to talk about the start of Tommy's show, which was fucking awesome too. And Rogan just this doesn't seem to go away. And now The Rock is involved. Oh, Rock. Frontier and Spirit are now combined, and they will be offering flights where you can actually stand up to save even more money when they come together. And if you flap your wings, you will be able to make the planes go faster. That's how that's going to work. But we'll talk about all that more and what that means and what it doesn't mean. And I think Facebook shadow banned me again. Yo, it's funny. I'm on payroll. Meta, you can't shadow ban me if I'm on payroll. That's not nice. Like, I work here now. Stop. Like, just let the good times roll. Let the good times roll, Mark Zuckerberg. My boy, my whoop boot. Fucking, I don't even know what the fuck is. Who runs the office over there? I don't even know who runs the office. I don't. I really don't. Let's get into today's show. If this is your first time here, you won't be able to hear the music. Why? Because you're watching, you're not listening. If you want to hear the music, head over to Spotify, head over to Apple Podcasts, head over to Audible. We're like 15 different places. Even Facebook will let you listen to the music in the podcast form that'll come out hopefully today. If not, it'll be out tomorrow. We're not doing them the same day, but it's been rigorous. It's been very rigorous, but we'll figure it out. Today's show is going to be tons of fun. So if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you. Hit the like button so other people can come and enjoy the show as well. Subscribe so that you can come back when we're live, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And, you know, this is a show that never ends. It's about discourse. This is a variety infotainment show. If you didn't know, it's unscripted. I do have topics that I follow. There is an outline of a few things that I'm supposed to speak of. But for the most part, it's all off the top of my head, off the articles that I read, the videos that I watch, the people that I speak to, or the things that happen in my life. It's a very interesting way to commit to a show. But we do have articles that I do read, and I try my best to unwaver and be, balanced as best I can. Like, I have my preference, not my preferences, but I have my I guess I have the side of the fence that I fall on certain things, but I try to give you as much information that I can without putting any. Probably not. I think I'm definitely just one-sided. I'm pretty sure I'm not even good at not being one-sided. Like, I'm not Star. Star is like good at what the fuck he does. I'm definitely not Star. That's Star got it figured out. All right, Lorna, you ready for the show? We're about to go crazy. Welcome to the show, y'all. We're gonna start recording for the podcast. So if you hear me doing some weird things, just know it's for the pod. I promise you, it's important. I really don't know how to start the episode. I don't have a joke per se. All right, I got a good one. The Snoop one was the best one yet. If you smell what The Rock is cooking was prolific. The song that we're listening to today is Andre Nicotina, Ayo for Yayo. What a great song. I love it. If you don't know it, go find it. Get familiar with Andre and take a listen. I should have done it like The Rock. If you smell it. No. Nah, I can't do it. Innocent is sweet. Yayo, walk around with yayo, all in my nasal. I must have been crazy, yo. Ayo for yayo. What a great song. It's Kasabian Lavoe wine. What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Kasabian Lavoe, and I'll be your host of the Kasabian Lavoe Show, behind the microphone with talent, on loan from God. Doesn't come out as smooth as the guy that I learned it from, but I'm definitely trying. What's going on, beautiful people? How are you? And welcome back. If this is your first time here, you can't hear the music and stuff like that, but you know why. If this is your second time here, go get you a drink, take a seat. We got some stuff to talk about. It's going to be an interesting show, and it's going to be a bumpy ride, so let's get into it. First off, I'm going to talk about the truckers on Wednesday in Ottawa. I was watching it. I'm really not too convinced that the story is a great story to tell at the moment because I feel like there's much more to it. And now I'm starting to see that Canada is trying to make it seem like Americans are doing this shit. No, thank you. I have a couple, just random things that I was going through. I want to talk about love. I thought this was very interesting, and it's an old, story that I had heard, but it just kind of like hit me again. But let me start the show with it just to like really rock the boat. Love is not the feeling that you get when you're in it. Love is actually heartbreak and memory. Because if not, there's no other way to describe love. Let that sink in. So love isn't that happy moment. Love is actually the heartbreak afterwards where you have to think of the good times. That's the love, that memory that you have to literally go back and relive. That's what love is. That's what the guy said. It was crazy when he said that. Like, it blew my mind. I want to talk about Kanye and his TikTok issue with his baby mama. Let's talk about the end of Power Book and the start of Tommy. We'll talk about the slot machine that paid immensely here in Las Vegas to an Arizona man. Rogan's $100 million side deal, which is pretty dope. The Rock is being rock blocked, and Frontier and Spirit will now be offering rides where you can flap your own arms and get across the country for only $6. All this and more. Did you know that dolphins go around fucking with pufferfish just to get high? I wonder what we could poke at to get high. You remember, okay, there was this weird cartoon that was on, was it Cartoon Network or was it Comedy Central? It was probably Comedy Central. It was drawn together. It was a reality TV show with cartoons, and there was like a weird looking Pikachu thing, and they would say something bad to the Pikachu, like to hurt the Pikachu's feelings, and then it had like a secretion of some type of DMT, and they're like, hey, I think the character was named Ling Ling. This is a character. And the character, they were like, hey, Ling Ling, I got something for you. And then they go, no, I don't. And then Ling Ling was like, oh. alcohol, and then it would leak some shit, and they go and they get high as shit. Is that a thing? Is that a thing? But you know what I'm talking about, though, right? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? That was a great show. That was a great show. Come on. Yo, Drawn Together was so dope. Like, that, good times, bro. That shit took me back to, like, Mi Gente and MySpace, bro. Do you remember those times, dog? That was, like, when reality TV show was everything. They even drew the fucking show. Like, yeah, it was awesome. But Ling Ling, it was, like, a little Pikachu thing. And they would, like, hey, I got something for you. Psych. And then Ling Ling would, like, leak, and they would lick it. It was just weird. Very, very weird. What we talking about? So, let's just jump into it. The Power Book. Head over to kalavoe.com. You know, it's always an ask, not an ad. You know, we don't do those. We will be adding them in, though, for Spotify. When we drop the episodes on Spotify, there's going to be ads because I got to make some money off this bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, Ye and Kim continue their public battle. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to say something as far as social media is concerned and shared custody. I have shared custody with 2 of my children, and it's very difficult when you don't see eye to eye with your co-parent. And when it comes to social media, I'm very touchy because for me, I don't think kids should be on certain social media platforms that we have been given the privilege to fucking have as adults. I don't think they're ready for it. So I prefer that my teenage daughters wait till they're at least sophomores or juniors in high school before I can really give them Instagram accounts. And honestly, my hope was that by the time they were 15, 16, Instagram will be gone, Facebook will be gone, and it would be something new that was more positive and less fucking evil, right? Because it's just difficult. My son is on there. Both my sons are on there, and they're the ones I share custody with. I have a huge issue with it, but nonetheless, I monitor them as best I can. I'd let them know, yo, this shit ain't, 1000% legit. Everything you see is it's hard to explain social media to a child when adults can't even handle it. Kanye's expression of not wanting, I guess, his parental, because I don't even know what Kanye's goal would be with this whole TikTok issue. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like him on TikTok, or him with the, what's the right, because this touchy, man. This whole shared custody shit is so touchy. And the problem with shared custody is that one parent may be doing something out of spite. So I don't even know how to approach it with Kanye and Kim. So I'm not sure if it's his parental right to ask for her not to be on TikTok, his daughter on TikTok. But, his concerns are valid. If there's a monetary value in this, I think the discussion definitely goes deeper. And I feel like us as normal people, if you don't have this type of problem, you really can't understand it. Like, there's posts that are worth millions of dollars per post, no matter who it is at that level of the Kim and Kanye level. It's scary. The comments are nasty. I hope that those little kids never, ever see the comments. The comments are the fucking worst. Kim says that she's supervising. Kanye says this shouldn't even be for her. It should be for 13 years. Like the app says, 13 and up. It's hard. And it's nasty. I didn't want to talk about it. But I do understand his frustration. I understand her frustration. I feel like they just shouldn't talk about this shit in public the way that they do. This will get back to your kids one day. Like, if you're in the public eye and you're on social media, unfortunately, all this shit's going to come back. It's not a good look. It's just, I agree with Kanye. I wouldn't want my kids online. I don't like my kids online. They're on TikTok. It's tough. You don't want them to miss out, but you don't want them to be exploited. Oh, my ear just. But it's hard being a parent today. There's a lot of different things that you have to worry about today as a parent. Like, when I was a kid, I'm going to be honest with you, I would leave the house after school and come home when the sun came up. And I was everywhere. I would take the bus, go across town, ride my bike, steal a bike, bring it back, drop it off, borrow somebody's skateboard, eat food places, get money. Who the fuck knew where I was? Not a cell phone in sight. I didn't have any change for a payphone. And God forbid anybody around me had like a text or a pager or some shit where I could like send a page. Like, and that's not even how pagers work. Pagers were receivers. They weren't senders. So there was no way. You just left the house and they hoped you showed up. Like, it's scary now that we can watch our kids. Like, I have a problem with my daughter at school right now because some little boy is bullying her, and I want her brothers to go take care of that. You see what I'm saying? Because that's where I'm from. You can't do that today. It's not okay. But if they were on Instagram and that little boy was doing that shit, doing that same thing that he's doing in school on Instagram to my little girl, do you understand the implications of like what that's gonna bring? It's not like it was in school before for us, but at the same time, man, get on TikTok and follow me. I'm blowing up over there. TikTok pay me good money too, even though they keep blocking my page, but they pay well. Damn, you threw me off. Oh yeah. It's like my problem with people getting bullied online. I feel like turning it off is a very powerful thing, and that was something that we never learned, and that is something that I teach my children. I've many times intervened and said, just gimme. I got to get you off. You're on the game too much. You're huffing and puffing over what somebody else is saying on the game. Get off the game. Get off TikTok. Get off of all of that. Whatever the case is, I have intervened because I know where it can take you. And then I have to have a conversation with them because you got to get it out. What's the frustration? What are they saying to you that's making you get so angry? And why are you allowing them, right? If you don't have that type of communication with your kids when it comes to social media, it's going to be very difficult to maneuver it. It's a bitch. Social media is tough. It really is. So, Power Book is done. Season 2 is a wrap. What a great season. Can we just say a little iffy, a little up and down with the Joe Budden character, a little up and down with Tariq all of a sudden fucking finessing the game, Effie becoming a killer. Power is power, and 50 is great at what he does. And he has like quirks and shit. Remember when 50 caught fire in Power, but he came back? Like he burnt alive and he came right back. That's the shit I'm talking about. Zeke being 37 years old and pretending to be 18. And then I just seen a video of Zeke in real life, whatever the fuck his name is, with a rap song at a club, and he was the only one dancing. And the DJ kept on interrupting. He was like, this shit trash. So pray for Zeke, y'all. You know, he ain't on TV no more, so he's going to be rapping now. You know how that's going to go. Then Tommy started. Got to watch Tommy. What an interesting way to start Tommy. I don't know if I'm on board yet. It's going to be high impact. We're coming in super hot. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Tommy's Tommy. He's smoking his weed. He's driving his Mustang tough. And Tommy got a brother. I don't know. I mean, literally, Tommy got another ghost. Like, this kid came out of nowhere, said that his mom had him, and that was just him and Tommy's mom. And I think Tommy killed his mom, didn't he? Now I gotta go back and watch Power 1. But either way, the Power universe is doing well. Like, very, very well. If you watched it, it's a very entertaining, I guess, universe. I don't even know what we would call it. This shit is dope. Like, 50 has literally created, I mean, an entire universe. That's the proper word. The proper word is universe. He's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. It's dope. It's just really, really dope. So, what's a stream worth? I asked this question many, many times because I feel like it's never been answered. And I always coin Joe Budden for even, this is his. What's a stream worth will go down in history as the question that Joe Budden asked, and we still don't know the answer to. Keep that in mind, not for this story, but for the next story that we're going to talk about. So, here in Las Vegas, we're not really known for giving. This is one of those places where the house always wins, and when you come here, we're going to take you for everything you got. An Arizona man came out in January and hit a progressive at the casino on the floor with a slot machine. Now, if you don't know how that works, there's certain cards that the casinos will ask you to hit, and all the slot machines are connected to a network in which you see on top of the machines that has a jackpot, which builds up until somebody hits said jackpot. Some jackpots come from the table, and people that are at the table will receive X amount of jackpots that might reflect differently depending on the game you're playing. But when it comes to the slot machines, it's right on top, and it tells you if you hit blah, 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 you're going to get that amount of money. And sometimes it's an absurd amount of money, 200,000, 300,000, but you can win it. It really happens. So the story was interesting because I've never heard of Vegas chasing somebody down for a machine malfunction. I don't know if I told this story, and I hate that I'm telling it now if I didn't tell it, because I swear I said it, and I thought it was a joke. I started the show with the joke. I bump into this guy at the airport. He's telling me how he's having a shitty time, how Vegas just wiped him out, and he thought he had a progressive, and it never paid out, and he was like, fuck it. He was down to his last, and he was just headed home. He was upset, and I was like, hey, man, that shit happens all the time, bro. You know, no sympathy, but I get it, so I'm just gonna, understand and nod my head and feel bad for you. Then this shit happened, and it makes me wonder, was it you that I was talking to? Because if it was, that's dope. So the stories out of the Associated Press from here in Las Vegas. The Nevada Gaming Control Board says its investigation tracked down an Arizona man who left Las Vegas after visiting last month without knowing he'd won a $229,368 slot machine jackpot. He did that. The board said the machine being played by Robert Taylor malfunctioned due to a communication error, and neither he nor the Treasure Island Hotel and Casino realized that he had won a progressive jackpot the evening of January 8th. The board said that it then began its investigation to identify Taylor, and after 2 weeks of checking surveillance cameras, videos, conducting witness interviews, studying electronic purchases, recordings, and reviewing rideshare data, Taylor's hometown was not released. I don't even know why they threw that in at the end. They said it was from Arizona. What the fuck does it matter? You know where he's from. He's from Arizona. Hey, but good for him. Good for Treasure Island and the Gaming Commission for even going out and taking care of this wrong. $200,000, well, $280,000 is not a bad fuck up to come up. What, 2 weeks later? That's a blessing, my boy. Congratulations to him. Now, with everything that's going on with Joe Rogan, I want to say something straight away because I feel like it's going to keep on happening, and it's not a good thing. There's a lot of racist white people that are supporting Rogan saying the N-word for their racist ways. Don't let them confuse you for who Rogan is and what he stands for. Please. I can see it happening amongst friends, and it's kind of scary because I've literally watched two friends that grew up, one white, one black, have a conversation about Rogan, and it went sideways over this whole N-word video, that montage that's out. Rogan's definitely an evolved person of who he was. I'm not defending shit he said. That's between him, God, and y'all. However you feel about it, I want you to take care of it and handle it. Do I feel like he's a racist? No. Did he use a word improperly in a way that he shouldn't have? Fuck yeah. Shouldn't have done it. And the apology's never going to stick. And I think that different times call for different reactions. And people don't say spick. So I don't even know how to even address it. I don't like to. But I do see a lot of people using this opportunity to be racist and to be assholes and to use Rogan's fuck up as a way for them to just camouflage their racism and talk shit. No, that's not okay. Stop being such a piece of shit. You know, here's a real mind-blowing theory, right? We're all one race. It's literally just made the fuck up by people. So what? You're a different color. So what? Dogs come in different shades, and if you shave their fur, they're all pale ass animals. You don't classify dogs any different. Dogs are dogs. I always go to dogs because it's so simple for people to understand. Do not think that I'm comparing people to dogs. What I'm saying is that when you look at a dog, no matter if it's a German Shepherd or a Rottweiler or a Labradoodle or some shit, you just say it's a dog. People, for some reason, we insist on just putting an adjective and a descriptive fucking something to put somebody in a box. We can't just be like, hey man, we're all people. The word is heavily saturated in music, culture, and things that if you want to turn the hands back now, it seems almost impossible. Yes, intent has a lot to do with where the word is. Well, at least where the feeling from the word stems from. I think that that's a big deal. As long as we understand intent and there was no hate, I'm okay with that. That faction of it, right? That understanding that, okay, it wasn't used in a hateful manner. It was just used in a pathetic joke that didn't stick. Comedians go through shit. I get it. He's got people close to him that can explain to him a little bit better how that works. But at the same time, Rogan's from Jersey. Rogan ain't just a white dude. There's different whites. I got yelled at by an Irish guy, and I was like, you weren't considered white when you got here. Did y'all know, there's levels to this white shit. It's really white privilege when you break it down in that aspect. That I can agree with everyone. You're classified white, it moves a little different. Because the Irish weren't here talking the way they talk now when they first... There's 30 million Irish people here in America, and there's only 3 million in Ireland. So, it's shit like that. I don't even know why I got into that. I'm sorry. I'm just the guy called me all types of names and shit, and I was like, wow, bro, you're such a dick. I don't even know why we're having this conversation, and he's just yelling at me over Rogan. I'm like, the Rogan problem is that it veils other people's racism and stupidity, and then you got to deal with that shit. I don't like that shit. Spotify is standing with Rogan. The question that I asked earlier is, what is a stream worth? I have come to the conclusion that music, just like CDs and prior, And I mean, shit, literally like the mid 2000s, music kind of took a shit. We were losing money left and right. You couldn't make any money in music because music is worthless. I know it seems like it makes a lot of money. It really doesn't. If you look at music, there's 20, 25 people that you may know. Everybody else is literally losing hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And then the higher you get, thousands and even millions of dollars trying to make a career out of something that they love that doesn't pay very well. You can spend up to $10,000, $150,000 recording one song, and then you can only sell it for 99 cents if you sell it. 1,500 streams equals one purchase, which equals a couple of cents. How long or how much does a 3-hour podcast cost? What is that worth? What is it worth? According to Facebook, they have a number on our streams. 1,000 streams equals $7. That's pretty decent. Probably the best paid out. If you know what I'm talking about, Facebook pays the most right now for video streams. What is a 3-hour podcast worth? What's a 2-hour podcast worth? And is it worth more than a 3-minute song? I say yeah. I think music is actually going to be the most worthless streaming apparatus out. Like as a streaming, I can't even think of the right word right now. I'm sorry, but music itself as a streaming product is trash. The worst ever. It's hard to be a musician in social media anyway. You post the same song every day with other videos and it just gets boring. It's repetitive. It's not good. It literally leads artists to go do other things like podcasts because you can't feed the machine. And then they want you to live to feed the machine. And it's impossible to keep up because you put out a song today and if you don't put out one tomorrow, you fade. Just like that, you fall off. The same thing that's happening on YouTube. If I don't put up a video 2 or 3 a day that stick, I fade. I disappear into the background. It's hard when you have to live up to the algorithm. And music ain't paying. You got to do, when you put out a song, just so you know, when you put out a song, you have to, thank you, I'm on my shit. When you put out a song, just a heads up, the beat, there's clearances. Shout out to Yo Gotti. He just did a open verse competition on TikTok, and he just said, you know what, I own my masters, I own the music, I'm giving a universal clearance for anybody and everybody that wants to use the song. You can record it, sell it, make money on it, put it on all DSPs, say I'm featured on it, go put that shit on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, everywhere and get paid. That's amazing. That shit don't happen every day. You get a song today, the beat comes, there's licensing issues, there's clearances you got to deal with. What if all of a sudden you put out a song and it's a smash hit? For example, Juice WRLD. Lucid Dreams made crazy money. 98% of it went to the original owner of the beat or the melody. Just let that sink in. How is it lucrative to promote music that has so much just in-betweens? A podcast that's 3 hours long. It's just people talking and having a conversation. It's something interesting that people actually enjoy is watching these long-form conversations. What is that worth? It should be worth hundreds of millions of dollars if you're good at what you do. Rogan got $300 million for what he did. Now they're saying it's $100 million. Okay, let's say he got $100 million. That's a lot of fucking money. $100 million for 3 years. Not bad. Excuse me. Now, let me clarify the difference between, I guess, podcasting and music, right? Podcasting, if you don't know what it means, it's basically iPod broadcasting. That's how it started. Mark something, he's the... No, you know what? Hold on. Let me pause 2 seconds. You know why Joe doesn't do 3 hours no more? Because he's on Patreon. So now they do like 2 and change. Because they give us 5 episodes a week now. The pod is right. Joe sitting back and letting Ish and Ice run the pod is not bad. Not bad. I'm very excited what's going on in the pod. I'm just disappointed with Mandy and Bridget. That's all I got to say. Mandy and Bridget, we need to talk. Anyway, a 3-hour pod, even a 2-hour pod, you can put advertising in it. You can do video advertising. You can have, 5 different revenue streams because of one podcast. I don't think you understand. Like for this, I record it. There's an audio version. There's a video version. There's clips on YouTube. There's clips on TikTok. There's clips on Facebook. Facebook pays me X amount of dollars a month to post reels. TikTok pays for what they pay for monetization with ads and what we do with content branding. YouTube pays you for streams. Listen, there's ways to make money off of your content that you cannot do with music. As a matter of fact, if I put out a song right now, they would shut this shit down. You see? What is a stream worth? We'll never know. Joe Rogan is supposed to be canceled for what he said, and he's not. They can't get rid of him. Rogan isn't necessarily an evil person, nor did he do anything outlandish, because he wasn't attacking nobody. This isn't one of those things where they called him in blackface and he was like, her, doing some stupid ass fucking, hillbilly dumb shit. This was just him trying to be funny, and it wasn't funny. But I am 1000% against the people that are using this shit to just express their racism. So with Rogan being canceled or attempting to be canceled, a lot of people have come out in support, and a lot of people have retracted their support. One of those people is The Rock. The Rock is a pussy. Let's just put it out there. The Rock was backing Joe Rogan up, and then the other video came out, and instead of saying something concise, sorry, you see me reaching, it's because my what is this thing called? My teleprompter, it moves when it hears certain keywords, and it kind of starts to go, so I got to stop it and bring it back. So I apologize for reaching across the camera. I like this little teleprompter. This shit's pretty dope. It's unscripted, but that's like the when I'm reading the articles. The Rock backtracked everything he said about Rogan after he heard the N-word videos, but again, I don't even think he looked at it. He took it completely out of context himself and just said some stupid ass shit trying to cover his tracks. I've said this before, and I've been trying to say this in previous episodes. The people that regulate or want to change how you do things to make it their way, they will literally change everything and then start changing it again. They never stop. These people are never happy, and they're never going to end. The Rock is now in a position where he has to be this super PC, super gray, can't pick a side type of man, and everybody loves The Rock, and The Rock is the most American guy ever, dude. If you ran for president, I'd fucking love The Rock. Okay, cool. But y'all don't remember The Rock on WWF, WWE, whatever they call wrestling today? That dude was an asshole. The dude in wrestling would make Donald Trump look like a regular dude. The shit The Rock would say and do to people in the ring makes Donald Trump look like a little boy. Dead ass. So, him backtracking on Rogan created a shitstorm for a few people. But this one's interesting. First, I'll start with Rogan. This one came from the Daily Wire. On Monday, YouTube competitor Rumble released a statement in support of Joe Rogan, appearing to offer the podcast host $100 million for a 4-year deal. This came from the CEO. Dear Joe, Chris Pavlik, CEO of Rumble, wrote, in quotes, "We stand with you, your guest, and your legion of fans and desire for real conversation. So we'd like to offer you 100 million reasons to make the world a better place." That's not a bad deal, but it might be. I would say give me 100 for 2 years. How about you bring all your shows to Rumble, both old and new, with no censorship, for $100 million over 4 years, Pavlik continued. This is our chance to save the world, and yes, this is totally legit. I think it's pretty impressive that people are willing to even put that number out there, because in business, you don't want to give that number out. The idea that they're saying, hey, come over here, we're willing to give you $100 million to get you off of Spotify and put all your episodes out there, lets me know that there's more value in these 3-hour, 2-hour podcasts than there is in music. I think they could get rid of their complete music catalog on Spotify, and it would make more money off of podcasting than they would off of their music. Too much legality. The only people that make money off of streaming on music is the labels. I don't even think Spotify gets paid that well for what the music makes. I know a lot of people get mad at Daniel Ek for making more money than the artist, but it's his company. The company wasn't built to stream just music. It was just built to stream information. Now that we got approved for video on Spotify, so we're one of the few pods that get to have video up there. Like, that is sick. And they sent us the email. It's a big deal, yo. That's a big, big deal. People still don't seem to understand the First Amendment. The First Amendment is freedom of speech. If you're a rapper, shame on you for not understanding how it works. If it wasn't for people like Uncle Luke, if it wasn't for NWA, if it wasn't for Public Enemy, if it wasn't for the people that went to court and fought for us in the late 80s and early 90s, we wouldn't be able to say the shit that we say today. That's just being honest, and that's the truth. The First Amendment protects your speech between you and the government, not between you and everything or anyone. That's such a misconception. Stop being so naive to information that you don't know, and if you're ignorant to the information, learn, and then you can have a real conversation. Like I said, the First Amendment gives you the right to say what you want to the government. You see in other places, like let's say London, you can go to London right now and you can tweet something and that shit will get you locked up. You can say fuck the government, fuck the queen, and get locked up. That doesn't happen here. We can say pretty much anything we want. The rule is don't start a riot, right? Or don't start Like, you can't yell fire in a fucking movie theater and create it's a riot, right? Why am I drawing a blank today? I'm so sorry, y'all. I just got a brain fog, but I'm working through it. And you can't, no hate speech, meaning you can't go outside and say you're going to hurt somebody or make a direct threat towards somebody, because that's illegal. But you have the right to get in police face, tell them to suck a dick and pause, and you can tell them whatever you want. And you can go and tell your governor that they're doing shitty and need to do better and that they're worthless. You see, at other times, if you did something like that, where you talk to authority in that fashion, or the authority that we assign, if we speak to the police officers in that way, or the government officials in that fashion, another time they would have us arrested or killed. That's what happened. So the First Amendment, you see, George Washington and them boys were a little bit smarter than the rest, and they didn't want to follow the horrible ways of how Europe ran everything with a king and a queen. Shit was just, it was asinine. So they decided to write these little rules here that we follow. And that first one gets misconstrued a lot. You do have the freedom of speech here in America. What you don't have is the freedom to attack people or speak hateful about people just because. And people say with freedom of speech, it's not free, there's a cost. Yeah, there's a cost. If you say the wrong shit around the wrong person, you might get Merry Fistmas, like my boy Ish would say. Just keeping it a buck. Damn, I wish there was like a way to explain to people that go, oh, I got the freedom of speech. Yeah, okay, Colin Kaepernick. He could have protested outside of work. Instead, he protested at work. Private entity. You don't have freedom of speech at work. If you work at Walmart and you're like, yo, fuck y'all, whoop, 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 you can get fired for saying that. It's probably the simplest thing to understand and the hardest to explain, because people just want to put their own twist on things. And like I said before, the biggest weakness in America is that we don't teach our people. It's pretty sad that we have a country full of people, that we have a country full of people that are dumb. The basics aren't being taught here. School isn't really working. And then we get shit like this and we just start arguing over nothing. And again, what I've been seeing, in all reality, is just like people relearning what's happening. And you know what? That's what it was. There's a story on politicians. Hold on. There's a story on politicians that I was supposed to do. That politicians are the oldest they've ever been, which is true. So what you have is a bunch of losers, career losers that have been in office for over 50, 60 years trying to push their shitty agenda. And they finally outlived everyone that stopped them. And they've been able to push their agenda. And it started in the late 80s and early 90s. The war on drugs was the first step. The war on drugs got all the tough, hard motherfuckers out the street, locked them up, removed strong male figures from the street and from the home. That was part one. Part two was the pussification of man. How did that start? When they started handing out trophies for participation, and when they removed economics out of school and they stopped teaching competition, where they started to tell everybody that we're equal. No, you have equal opportunity. We are not equal, because I have a friend that's 6 foot and I got a friend that's 6'5", and they do shit differently than each other, and I'm 5'6", so we're not equal. We have equal opportunity. Can we all go to the NBA? You could try, but you can't all go. In the 90s, they began this shit where they started to, oh, let's empower this and empower that and take from here and take from there. They tried to tank the NFL so many times. If you watch the progression of what they did to the NFL, you can see how many times they tried to tank the NFL because it's too macho, too manly, too tough. They don't like that. It's competition shows weakness. Unfortunately, if you don't teach competition, you never get the best of the best. So we have now 30 years of people not competing, very few competing, and the whole world kept going. I know we get kind of like taken off course by listening to what China does to their people and their internet practices. Although I'm not 1000% okay with what they do, I think they do have a better idea on how they can help their kids, in which we don't. And if we don't catch up, we're fucked. And there's a lot of things that bother me that just simple education could help us. And I think freedom of speech should be understood a lot better. And if you're a hip hop artist, I suggest you go do your homework and find out who Uncle Luke is. And if you don't know who Public Enemy is, there's 2 guys in that group. Both of them dudes are probably more important to hip hop than Jay because of what they did in the 90s and 80s with their protest music. I'm being honest. That's from hip hop. Oh shit, my little brother's in here. What up? Yeah. Nah, man, look, Mandy and Bridget are stupid as shit. Mandy and Bridget said that Whoopi Goldberg being suspended. Mandy and Bridget are from the podcast. See, the thing is, Mandy and Bridget said that Whoopi Goldberg being suspended for her anti-Semitic comments was anti-black. Whoopi Goldberg is anti-black. Her name is Whoopi Goldberg. Her real name was Karen Johnson. So when she decided to change her name to make it in Hollywood and never go back and say, you know what, this is my real name, that was my stage name. Like, my stage name is Kasabian Lavoe. My real name is Kasabian. Maybe one day I'll go back to being a one-name person. I'm just not there yet. You see what I'm saying? But I want to get there. I really do. So when you say that her being suspended for what she said is anti-black, I don't buy that. I think Whoopi Goldberg as an entity is anti-black because of what she does. But I love her to death because she's accomplished so much. So it's so hard to have this conversation, especially it's February, bro. We're supposed to be celebrating each other, and it feels like everybody's been taking the time to just attack each other and cause more division, like usual. Like usual. It's just like attack and divide, attack and divide, attack and divide. I don't like that shit. It's pathetic. Let's get to The Rock. Let's talk about what The Rock did and why The Rock did what he did. Like I said, The Rock is a giant superstar. So when The Rock supported Rogan, so many people were just so offended. Most people that are offended at what Rogan said, one, are white. It's my biggest fucking problem with all this racist banter and all the racist just jargon that goes around. It's white people that get more mad at things that we should get mad at. Like, how are you telling me what I'm supposed to be mad at? It's weird. Your reaction to it worries me more than the problem that you keep on alluding to. It's not a problem. You just want it to be a problem. And it's your hatred. It's really disgusting what you people do. You love to come out and stand on, oh yeah, I'm here for my black friend. I'm here for my Spanish friend. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, the childhood friend I fucking love him to death. And his girl jumped on the phone and said, how dare you speak for black people? I never said I spoke for black people on this show. I speak for poor people. When you tell me that the cops that killed George Floyd going to jail was justice for black people, that's when I know you're the stupidest motherfucker I'm talking to. That wasn't justice for anything. That was just justice. That's like when the fucking dean at school said he's going to investigate what's going on with my daughter, and he made it seem like he was doing extra. No, motherfucker, that's your job, bro. That's the basics. Those men obviously broke the law. If they didn't go to jail, it wasn't going to destroy the fucking the fabric of America, but it would have shown the weakness that we have in certain entities. But thank God that they all got locked up, and they'll be dealt with on the inside the way they should be. But that doesn't change shit. It's not a great stepping stone for the black. Like, what the fuck was that about? Like, bro, like, why are you attacking me? That shit was so random. Not my thing. I'm here for the poor. I've always been here for the poor. The Rock ran his statements back about Joe Rogan, and then he started getting exposed himself. Now, The Rock is a hilarious person. I am not going to post his video, nor am I going to repeat the shit that he said because I don't want to get canceled. It was funny. Can I say that? I think it was. So when The Rock did what he did, and I hope Rogan is behind this. I hope Rogan got his money and pulled out his nuts and put them on the table and said, I'm going to chop this motherfucker up. So this is from Giant Freaking Robot. I love the publication. Dwayne Johnson, fresh from putting his feet in hot water after allegedly coming out in support of Joe Rogan and subsequently U-turning on the said support, has caught himself in further controversy. Johnson's latest negatively perceived situation comes as a result of a series of comments exposing the actor allegedly mocking the trans community. This has resulted in Twitter trending picking up speed that get The Rock canceled for his remarks. In the video below, The Rock can be seen. I don't want to post the video. I'm not going to post. There's two videos. I'm not posting them. In the video below, The Rock can be seen being allegedly making light of trans people in pursuit of humor. It appears to be poor in taste and has sparked many negative reactions across social media. Not only that, but several users have uncovered other past remarks that only add to the sorry picture. Now, that was some of the quote from this article from the Angry Robot or whatever that was. There's more videos of him in the wrestling ring doing what he did best. And as a teenager, that shit was hilarious. As an adult, then now understanding that that's hurtful, I get it, so I don't say it, and I don't really pick on that as a topic to defend your right to speak. I feel like if we can get past it, listen, I was an avid F user. I used to say that all the time, and I didn't think nothing of it. A lot of gay friends, brother-in-law is gay, and I said it around them, and they would express to me that it offended them, and I stopped. Like when my brother was like that, he really just told me, he goes, yeah, that bothers me. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. When I say certain words, in my head, because I don't say them with malice the same way Rogan was trying to explain, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. But I apologize to my brother-in-law and well, my brother. Yeah, not my brother-in-law. He's my fucking brother. And I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know no better. I'm a ghetto child. I can say this, that growing up in the ghetto, I did have a very foul mouth. And I do from time to time. I talk a lot of shit and I can't help myself. But I'm very well spoken and articulate. And I do understand my wrongs. But to chop up somebody for satire or for jokes, that's one thing. When you find these pictures of these old white dudes in blackface and they're just, being legitimate racist pieces of shits, we should definitely come together and get rid of them. And that's for any race. Any race. And I know people, come on, Kasabian, all lives matter. Don't do that. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying we have to hold a standard. And when do we loosen up? When do we get to joke? If there's equality, then we have to be able to equally joke and talk shit about each other and not be offended. When does that come? Is this going to be the turning point? I don't know. It's not like they're going to be like, oh my God, cancel Diddy because he said cracker. How do we fix it? Where do we go from here that closes this door and opens up a door of more euphoria in the fashion that we can understand each other and not listen to these words and think that it's the end of the world because of these words? Words have power if you give them power. I say bitch. I was raised in the 90s. I love my bitch. I don't mean nothing bad by it. I say bitch a lot. I don't mean anything negative about it. Trust me, I really don't. Can I substitute it? Yeah, 98% of the time I do. But there's a 2% of the time where I say that shit all the time. Like, it's culture, habit. I don't use, it depends. I don't use bitch like that. I don't know. Like, no, I don't, not a thing. But nonetheless, like, again, we change, we grow, we evolve, we're better people. Some of us are worse people. I don't know. Like, I heard Joe Budden say that shock jock is used for racist white people only. Black people can't be shock jocks. I thought this whole time Wendy Williams was a shock jock. I thought this whole time Charlamagne was a shock jock. I thought Ebro was a shock jock. I know Rude Jude's a shock jock, and I don't think Rude Jude really classifies as white. Just saying. I don't think that's a racist thing. Anyway, that was my 2 cents on this whole Joe Rogan debate. It's going to keep going, bro. They're attacking him because can't nobody touch him. Joe Rogan gets 11 million views per episode. That's 3 a week. He's doing almost 50 million views a week. The biggest TV show on TV, the biggest news show on TV is Tucker Carlson. He does 2.6 a night. Rogan does that in his sleep. Rogan does that within the first 2 minutes of dropping the episode. There's entities around the world that want to stop Rogan because he's bigger than them and is not only able to convey conversations that change a lot of people's lives. The reason why they change a lot of people's lives is because they're genuine conversations. If the news would stop having these weird panel conversations where everybody talks for 2 seconds, you ever watch the news and you tune in and it's like, what about you, Susan? And what about you, John? And then like you're supposed to just, that's it. That's the conversation. Like, what the fuck is that? 3 seconds here, 3 seconds there. None of that shit makes any sense. But Rogan will sit there and have two people that are completely opposed to it going at it, arguing, and it'll be, well, it was live. It ain't live anymore, but at one point it was live. The idea that a podcaster / comedian is doing 30 million, 40 million a month, and your biggest news outlet that's spending hundreds of millions of dollars to get their shows that high can't crack 3 million, 400, 4 million, 5 million. Like, it's beyond me. Beyond me. I don't know what that is. And the last story for the day. Frontier and Spirit are coming together. Two awkward airliners that would come together, but they're going to create the biggest discount airliner. Who the fuck is texting me? Yo, I just got the most random text. Wonderful. Don't text me during the show at all. Like, yo, hold on. Now I want to see what this is. Who is this? I'm not on Instagram either, so I lost all my phone numbers, so I don't know who you are. Oh shit. Yo. I lost all my numbers, so I don't know who you are, but that shit's hilarious. That shit's hilarious. Can I put it in the camera? No, I can't. I don't know who this hillbilly is, but that's fucking funny. Oh boy, yeah, you wildin'. I lost all my numbers. I swear to God. I can honestly say I lost all my phone numbers. I got you. I'm gonna save you. Chill out though. Stop sending the wild shit. Shit's wild. Having two discount airliners come together to provide a better service would be awesome, but instead it seems like they're just going to provide cheaper airline tickets for people to fly around. Let's get into this story from ABC. Frontier Airlines and Spirit Airlines are proposing to combine in a $2.9 billion deal that would create the largest discount airliner to compete against the nation's dominating carriers, and they say it would promote lower fares. It obviously will, because there'll be more planes that can come together and have cheaper fare, especially when Spirit and Frontier both make you flap your fucking wings just to get across places. As a matter of fact, last time I took a Frontier flight, they charged me to stand up and they charged me for water. Both are ultra low cost carriers, and start again. Both are ultra low cost carriers that tempt travelers with rock bottom prices for no frill services. Literally no frill, like no fucking water, no air, no seat belts. I'm sorry, this is all satire. It's a joke. It's on Yuckhead. Often generate more than their share of consumer complaints. I mean, a lot of people complain when they get a good deal. That's tough. However, the Frontier Spirit combination would rank only 5th among the United States Airlines passenger carrying capacity and 7th in revenue. Everything else goes to Delta, Southwest, and United. So even though they're coming together, they're not even putting a drop in the bucket. Now, some people think that this might get stopped by Biden's FCC and everything because of creating a monopoly, but there's so little that it really won't affect much. Hopefully that they can get better service. Just come up with better service. That's what I would really like to see from them, is just better service. I think it's a great idea to have cheap travel. I think it's good for people to be able to travel for cheap. It's great to go other places and explore. Get the fuck out the house. Because I know I promise you, if it ain't this year, next year, we are not going to be in the same place for more than 1 month. I've already promised my kids, my family, every month we're going to live somewhere else. And it has to be near a Walmart. That was my one rule. I'm going to go play video games with my friends. We're now streaming the Division 2. We're back. Oh, we bike. Like my boy Loner would say, we bike. All right, y'all. That's our show. Leave a comment below. Tell me how you feel. Was I wrong? Was I right? Is Rogan a piece of shit? I don't know. Did The Rock say what he said in jest? Was it satire? Is The Rock a hateful person? Who knows? I'm going to go play video games with my friends. My name's Kasabian. Live in the moment. Don't live in the past. Be safe. Stay dangerous. Lavoe loves you. Wine.